Good afternoon, Jason here, Birchfield Family Farm, Oxford, Ohio. Gorgeous day today on the farm. Still got some snow hanging around, but we're up almost to 40 degrees. We are headed to the backwoods, taking some more buckets and taps back. There are a lot of tracks out here. Yeah, there's a lot of tracks. All kinds of stuff, maybe birds or mice. Those are some small ones, yeah. You get what, maybe 14 more taps out in the backwoods here. It's definitely that time of year. Up above freezing during the day, below freezing at night. Sap is running. I remember seeing these tracks out last year, wondering what was going on. But you know what's really cool is they lead to these these plants here, and as you can see, on the end of these plants, even in the middle of winter here, those have seeds on them. And so I think these are bird tracks. To my knowledge, I think these birds they go from each of these plants right around. From plant to plant, I think they're pecking those seeds off, just getting whatever they can get here this time of year. I thought that was fascinating. Our pastures here are feeding, look at it. Our pastures are feeding the birds, even in the middle of winter. Okay, back here checking the trail cam. I wanted to see what lurks in this woods at night. Look at this, man. Something is just chewing the crud out of this. This is brand new. Gosh. Let's see what we got here. Wanted to hop on here and talk a little bit about first calf heifers. We've got a heifer that not really sure what's going on, but I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about that. Okay, so this is the scene here today. Still munching on this bale we rolled out a few days ago, and sheep are loving it, cattle are loving it, but this is what I want to see. You show up and animals are lying down, just totally loving life out here, full bellies. That's how you know they're satisfied, sitting there chewing the cud. Anyhow, over here, we came out yesterday and everybody's laying down like this, looking good. Now this is Ella here, closest to me. She was born last year, but this is Daisy here behind Ella. Of course, Petey's on the far side there. Daisy in the middle here is who we're watching. And I came out yesterday. She was making noises, kind of putting her legs out, rolling over, making noises when she's breathing. You look at this back end here. I mean, she looks pretty swollen to us, and she's had a bigger middle there for a while. In her udder, she gets up here, I'll show you her udder. But this is really, really challenging. Let me just talk about some of the reasons why. You see her, see how she's looking pretty big, but it's hard to tell, so hard to tell. So, when we started out with cattle, we bought 4 animals, including the bull. Of course, Emma, the cow, and she was proven she had calved several times for the previous owner. But Daisy here, she had not calved, was younger, and so when you start a herd like this, we get people coming to us, when's there going to be beef? When's grass-fed beef coming? And It is really challenging when you're first starting, because not only, you know, our approach is we're trying to see who's viable to start out, right? And, you know, you buy an animal, she's going to get up here. You buy an animal that's a year old, you know, a female, a heifer, and, you know, you're not calving until probably, you know, 3 years old plus. And so you're waiting for a couple years, and then not only that, but then you're waiting 10 months once she is able to breathe, 10 more months until she drops a calf. And so, you know, that kind of our approach is we're trying to see who's viable first, and then we'll get the bull on a schedule. So we calve in the spring, and then after that, we start digging into genetics, right? And okay, who's thriving on our system, who's not, and those are kind of the steps that we're taking here. But first calf heifers, wow. I mean, it was pretty easy to tell when Emma, you know, she's 10 years old, when she was going to calf. That bag is obviously dropping. You know, she's swelling up, and she had calved the previous November. So we know, okay, yeah, it's probably going to happen again. It's just so hard to tell with all this this hair on too this time of year. You can't really see much. You can see her hanging down in the middle there, but you can see that bag. Now, we've been told the bag on a heifer will not get as big. So, you know, that's another hard thing to tell. Now, I'm looking at that tail head. See how she's jiggling back there? Springing, they call that. You know, looking at the bag, it's not, you probably can't see that going into the sun here, but that tail head, you know, I'm looking for those pins to have dropped like we looked for on Emma. I'm looking at the bag. I mean, it looks like that's swollen to me. You know, again, there you can see that. See that belly? Here comes a big boy. So anyway, we showed up yesterday, and she's kind of sort of rolling over on the ground. She's doing the, you know, where they kind of hold their breath and then let it out, you know. And I'm like, oh man, is she gonna calve now? Is she not? Like, what's going on? And this is just, we're finding this really, really challenging. Could we have the vet out? Yeah, sure. I could bring him out, do an exam. I'm sure he could tell me exactly where she's at, or she may not even be bred. I mean, but you know, we saw that yesterday, and I'm like, okay, we're getting down to, you know, what, 10 degrees last night is what we hit. So I'm like, if she dropped a calf tonight, you know, that's going to be a disaster. So we're dropping everything we're doing yesterday, and running her in the barn. And this is just the inconvenience of when you're first starting out, right? I mean, we've been doing this almost 2 years, but point is, it just takes time. It takes time to learn these animals, you know, to see who's viable, and then after that to start doing your culling, your selections for who's really thriving on your program. So I don't know, I thought, you know, this might give somebody looking into this to start out, you know, if you want a head start, I guess, you know, don't buy heifers. You know, get a cow, a bull that's proven, you know, pay a little more. I don't know that we would have done anything differently though, looking back. But you know, last night we're running her in the barn, taking time away, you know, obviously trying to peel everybody else off while we just run her, putting her in the barn. She's stressed out because she's in a stall by herself. And it's like, man, you know, so stepping back, you know, how can we do this differently, more effectively? Well, we need to figure out who can calve first and who we're going to keep, and then pull the bull off and separate the bull and start to calve when we want to calve in the spring, when the grass is green, when they're rotating. Have them dropping these calves out on pasture, and then that would give us an idea. We'd be able to know, you know, when these calves, approximately when they're going to hit the ground, without necessarily having a vet. I'm not against the vet. You know, we're just a very small producer, and I hate to have them out for just one, but that's an option. But again, it was just the inconvenience of having to peel her off, put her in the barn, because we don't know. You don't even know how she's going to behave. Is she going to accept it? You know, a new mom. Yeah, I mean, you know, those are really, with the sheep we've learned, those are the ones you got to watch, are the first timers. Okay, just coming back from the woods, and look at this. I mean, this is just sketchy behavior. She's clear out there, you know, by herself. Patrick's gone out to lick her head, it looks like. Just really off behavior. I mean, this is where all the food's at up here, right? Where the hay, we rolled the hay out, and she's clear back there. What in the world? I think she probably is bred. She's probably not as far along as we think, and I think what's happened is she's eaten a bunch of hay. You know, she's had all she can eat here, hay buffet, and she was just uncomfortable yesterday. I think that's probably what's happened. Not necessarily ready to, you know, deliver yet, but I tell you, really finding this first calf heifer thing challenging. You know, on top of that, it's just kind of like this unknown with, you know, are we going to have to intervene? You know, you really want to keep an eye on the first timers. Just you don't know, is the calf positioned right? You know, we're going to have to go in, but you know, there's a lot to this. Getting going, learning your animals, knowing who's a fit, who's not, takes several years. So, you know, next time you've got that beef on your plate, you know, just remember that. Remember the farmers and just what they, just the art that they have to learn. Hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for watching.